not abandon your pet. Helpful tips for pet owners in a difficult situation. 5.1.2023. Pet owners sometimes find themselves in a situation where they feel they must give up their pet. This requires careful consideration in terms of thinking about the reasons why, how this will be done, and the impact this will have on both their pet and themselves. Different solutions should be considered first before you decide to give your pet up. You should never abandon your pet, especially as it may be illegal. If you find yourself in any of the following situations with your pet, read on for helpful solutions. Does your pet have behavioral problems? Many behavioral issues can be prevented in the first place through training, socialization, especially when your animal is young. There are animal behavioral experts who can help you address the issues. Make sure that you find an expert that uses reward-based training. Some behavioral issues may be caused by medical problems, and you should seek advice from your vet first before you make any decisions. Does your new landlord not allow pets? You should really consider if this is the right apartment, house for you. Is the apartment, house more important to you than your pet? If not, search for another place where pets are allowed and always check the tenancy agreements before signing. Are you expecting a baby? Congratulations! Children that grow up with animals have a clear advantage over those who do not. They are more empathic and develop a feeling for responsibility. There are many other positive aspects on children's health when they live with pets. Do you feel that you don't have enough experience, knowledge? Don't give up. There are many resources that you can use to help you understand and fulfill your pet's needs. Speak to your vet, who will be able to provide professional advice and answer any questions you may have regarding your pet. Has your financial situation changed? If you feel that you can no longer afford to look after your pet, support is available from animal welfare organizations in many countries, providing you qualify. For example, vouchers for pet food, or free veterinary treatment, microchipping and neutering. Are you ill, injured, or need to go into hospital? In some countries, there are animal welfare organizations that can take care of your pet in the short term. If you're ill, injured, or need to go into hospital for a short time, Sassy Cat demands special balcony water, like the princess. She's it special. She swears. Alison Blair 9 hours ago. Cats are said to be a little uppity. At least more than dogs are. Cat and dog people alike can agree that if you spend at least a day with a cat, they'll do at least one thing that makes you wonder if they were royalty in a past life. For example, on Monday, September 30th, a cat mom showed off her girl cat's nighttime ritual, as if she's in a movie about living the high life. Her cat takes a drink on the balcony every single evening. This sweet girl, whose name appears nowhere, also has a sibling. Both of them are incredibly spoiled. Besides the balcony water, which is literally just tap water, she drinks from an old bowl on the balcony. She and her sibling go for walks around the neighborhood in a stroller. Even though balcony water seems a little ridiculous, it's a perfectly good source of enrichment. She's an indoor cat, unless she's supervised, and her mom makes sure she gets outside time whenever possible. A little fresh air is a great way to keep your indoor cat happy and healthy. Is tap water safe for cats? The cat in this video only gets tap water once a day on the balcony. At all other times of the day, she has a filtered water fountain. She only gets a few sips of water during balcony hour anyway. The whole point is to be outside. Whether or not you want to give your cats tap water will depend on the quality of the tap water wherever you live, but generally, it's fine. The main concern with drinking water is chlorine, which is used to purify it in most places. In large quantities, it can be bad for cats, while drinking can be iffy. Bathing your cat in tap water is usually fine without filtration. If you want to be really safe, you can filter their water before you give it to them. Just run it through a Brita or another filtration system. All you have to do is fill up the filter and wait 10 to 15 minutes for the water to dispense. Then your kitty is good to go. The Strays Project, a scientific project to determine the most sustainable, effective, and efficient method of managing the number of stray dogs, the 8th of October, 2022. Stray dog overpopulation is a global concern with implications for public health and safety, environment protection, wildlife conservation, as well as animal welfare. Irresponsible pet ownership, for example, abandonment and lack of birth control programs lead to an increase in stray dogs. In high numbers, stray dogs can contribute to spreading diseases, cause human-animal conflicts, for example, bites and traffic accidents, threaten the survival of other species of animals, cause economic burdens, for example, costs associated with management, rabies vaccination, whilst often experiencing health and welfare problems themselves. The Strays project was developed by the University of Leeds, for Paws International, and IZSAM, Istituto Zooprofilatico Sperimental dell'Abruzzo e del Alice Giuseppe Caporale, with the aim to determine the most sustainable, effective, and efficient method of managing the number of stray dogs. Please find our publications and studies about stray dogs here. Strays PhD Research. The Strays project was structured as an academic PhD research and involved collecting data on dog populations from to study sites or Lviv, Ukraine and Teramo, Italy, and on public attitudes towards stray dogs using online surveys in Italy, Ukraine, and Bulgaria. Stray dog population size, financial costs, welfare impact on the dog population and impact on public health are some of the factors this study considered. When comparing different dog population management methods, opening parenthesis catch-neuter-vaccinate-return, long-term sheltering, and mass culling, collected data was used in statistical modeling to determine long-term effectiveness in humanely reducing population size. Need to target sources for stray dog population increase. The key result of the Strays project is that methods targeting multiple sources of population increase, i.e., reducing births in the free-roaming dog population, abandonment of dogs, and allowing owned dogs to roam most effective at reducing free-roaming dog population size, whilst also being cost-effective and improving dog health and welfare. Furthermore, neutering interventions applied continuously monthly and covering a high proportion of the population, i.e., 65%, will increase effectiveness and efficiency overall. Mass culling and long-term sheltering do not offer a sustainable solution to stray dog overpopulation, as they do not address the causes for population increase. It is important to also consider public attitudes towards stray dogs and dog ownership practices to adequately tailor responsible pet ownership campaigns. CNVR and responsible pet ownership education have the biggest impact, humanely reducing the number of stray dogs through catch-neuter-vaccinate-return (CNVR) campaigns coupled with responsible pet ownership education present together the most effective, efficient rights. Nitrogen monoxide country for poor animals on the weekend before Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice. A video surfaced on social media of a camel with one of its forelegs chopped off. The camel had wandered onto the land of a local landlord, who is believed to have ordered the barbaric act as a way to teach a lesson to its owner. The video of the maimed animal triggered a widespread outcry, forcing the police in Sindh's Sangha district to take action against those involved. It also saw various animal rescue organizations spring into action, with the camel shifted to one shelter in Karachi, and efforts said to be afoot to get it a prosthetic limb. The camel's fate was still better than that of a donkey in Hyderabad, who was so badly beaten by its owner. It ended up with multiple fractures. The hapless equine died at a shelter in Karachi last week. The situation is worse for stray animals, often targeted with mass cullings and poisoning, including by concerned neighbors and systemically by various city departments, under the guise of keeping the streets safe for pedestrians. The barbaric mutilation of a camel a few weeks ago shows that animal welfare remains an afterthought in Pakistan. With outdated laws, no deterrent against wanton acts of cruelty. The last such mass culling drive was carried out by a municipal department in Karachi last year, but several activists, including Aisha Chandragar, who runs the eponymously named Animal Rescue Service and shelter in Karachi, says her shelter continues to receive and treat stray dogs, that have been poisoned, and there are reports of dogs being poisoned across the country. The social media feed of her shelter, as well as that of dozens of others that have popped up over the last several years, are filled with horrific stories of animals being mistreated, from stray dogs being pelted with stones and puppies tossed from rooftops, to cats and kittens being tortured. There is ample evidence of this wanton violence towards voiceless animals in Pakistani society. Some of those responsible for this callousness are children. But we don't need social media for that reminder. One look at the condition of the street animals in Pakistan is enough. Most of these animals are insufficiently fed, often brutally treated, unkempt and injured. Legal labyrinth in Pakistan. The state does not have any animal welfare policy or service in place. With the sterilization and vaccination campaigns advocated by animal rights activists extremely sporadic, the cause of animal welfare is being championed primarily by private individuals and collectives. One such effort is a Facebook page called Lost and Found Pets and Helping Desk Pakistan. It serves three functions: to unite lost pets with their owners, to report any case of animals requiring rescue, and to spread awareness on animal welfare through their supporters. Such digital initiatives create a snowball effect on news regarding animal cruelty, which is then covered by the national media and, as a result, the authorities are compelled to take action. But it's a tall order, considering Pakistan's limited and outdated laws on preventing animal cruelty, combined with a state apparatus that is often more than willing to collude with the perpetrators of such violence. This is visible in the case of the mutilated camel, with the owner telling the judicial magistrate in Sangha that the police were trying to save the main suspect and had not even included his name and a first information report for. The most prominent law for animal protection is the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1890, a law inherited from the pre-partition British era. The parameters within which the Act is defined are limited in scope and lack recent shifts in understanding of animal welfare. For instance, the law defines animals as domestic or captured. This excludes birds and strays as well as wildlife, although provinces have specific laws pertaining to that. Moreover, the law identifies penalties for cruelty to animals, such as overworking, beating or subjecting the animal to unnecessary pain. But these terms are vaguely defined, points out Altamash Said, who did his master's in animal law from the US. There is no baseline for unnecessary pain, so it cannot be determined or the law implemented, he tells EOS. The federal government did pass a law in 2018, increasing the fines for animal cruelty. It increased the maximum fine to 100,000 rupees for animal cruelty, which had remained at the 50 rupees level since the law was first passed in 1890. For first-time offenders, the minimum fine was raised to 10,000 rupees. There was a similar increase in fines for other offences against animals. However, the law is only applicable in the federal capital and does not extend to the rest of Pakistan. This is because animal welfare became a provincial subject after the 18th Amendment, and provinces are required to enact their own laws. That is yet to happen, resulting in punishment for offences against animals in the rest of Pakistan staying the same as they were under the 1890 law. One fillip for animal activists was when, in April 2020, the Islamabad High Court affirmed that animals have legal rights under the Constitution of Pakistan. In need of safe havens, activists point out that while street animals have it tough, even domestic pets can share the same fate at the hands of humans. There are many stories of pets abandoned by their human families. One such sad story is of a Persian cat that arrived at a shelter in Lahore. The cat was abandoned by its human family after it developed urinary blockage and kidney stones. But managing a shelter and a rescue service is costly, as the animals require food, medical attention and safe spaces. Most shelters have limited funds, though they have adopted novel crowdsourcing techniques, such as sponsor-a-pet programs. But even so, raising resources can be a challenge. Nadia Hassan, who runs a shelter and rescue service in Lahore, tells EOS that their plans depend on such funds, and it becomes a problem when people don't provide the funds they have promised. She says, sometimes, people even refuse to wait with an injured animal after calling their rescue service. They think they have done their moral duty. With limited staff, and often reliant on volunteers, such shelters and rescue services are also sometimes accused of delayed responses to the donors, who have the right to follow up with these organizations. There have also been complaints, including against prominent shelters, of not permitting visitors or taking in more animals because of space constraints. Sarah Jahangir, who runs the shelter, where the maimed camel is under treatment, says people tend to get excitable around the animals when they need to stay calm, which could be one reason for shelters keeping visitors to a minimum. Her shelter in Karachi, she tells EOS, allows visits on only 2 days in a week. Similarly, she says it's impossible for rescue services to take in all the animals, as they need space and money, which are already stretched. The shelter that Sarah runs is spread over 2 acres and employs 21 people, with monthly operational costs around 2 million rupees. We raise half of that amount through our Sponsor a Pet program, and for the rest, we have to literally beg, she says. Despite the challenges, Sarah says they continue to take in more animals. For her, kindness towards animals is not only for their welfare, but also a reflection of our values as a society. Psychological correlation. There is ample research which shows that abnormal behavior towards animals requires immediate attention, especially from clinicians. Studies suggest that there may be links between animal cruelty and later aggression or violence towards humans, as well as other problematic behaviors. One such research, conducted by Laura Warthier of the University of Edinburgh in Scotland, states that animal cruelty in children or adolescents can be an early indicator of potential future violent behavior. Alternatively, there is an equally copious amount of scientific literature which consistently shows that animals have a profound and positive impact on human life, enhancing physical health, mental well-being and social interactions, and providing therapeutic benefits. The integration of animals into various aspects of human life, from healthcare to social support, underscores their invaluable role in promoting overall health and well-being in society. The writer is an assistant professor at the School of Communication Studies of the University of Punjab in Lahore. Dumping an animal is illegal and leads to misery, fear and loneliness. Pet abandonment is not something that happens only in faraway countries, but rather it happens everywhere. In big cities of developed countries, in small villages, in rich and in poor areas. No matter where pets are abandoned, the fate of the abandoned dogs and cats is always uncertain. Pet abandonment, a global animal welfare issue. Every day around the globe, hundreds of thousands of animals are abandoned by their owners. 5.1.20-3. Pets are either dumped on the streets, left alone in vacant properties or remote areas, or dropped off to animal shelters. This can be seen particularly during the holiday season, with some pets having been bought as Christmas presents being abandoned when the winter holidays is over. Furthermore, the COVID-19 pandemic has led to a significant increase in the number of people buying pets due to lockdowns and working from home. However, as people start to return to work and they realize that they do not have enough time for their pet or are just not as interested in their pet anymore, they are reselling their pets, surrendering them to shelters and sadly for some abandoning them on the streets. The difference between surrendering and abandonment. Surrendering, the surrender of dogs, cats and small mammals to a reputable animal shelter, means that the animals will be taken care of. They do not have to fend for themselves, but they will be fed and have a warm place to sleep. The animals also have a much better chance of finding a new home through being adopted. However, many shelters are overcrowded, or are lacking funds to take care of the animals well and may resort to euthanasia to control the numbers of animals coming into their care. This is not helped by the fact that some owners choose to dump their pets outside animal shelters or rescue organizations, in the hope that they will take care of them. Abandonment. Pet abandonment is different. It essentially means that pets are left to fend for themselves. They are either dumped on the streets or left in remote areas, where no one can see the pets being abandoned. Dogs and cats, including puppies and kittens, have been found in garbage bins, on motorways, or tied to park benches. Generally, people that abandon their pets know they are doing something wrong. They try to hide the fact that they are abandoning their pets. They do not want to be seen. It is rare that pet abandonment is directly witnessed. The pet owners tend to act when no one is around, punishable offense. In many countries, pet abandonment is an illegal and a punishable offense. These legislations are mainly covered under the Animal Welfare Acts of those countries. Abandonment can be avoided. No matter for what reason a pet is abandoned, the animal is always the one that suffers most in this situation. Many of the reasons given for abandoning pets can be avoided. Deaf wife and husband sign at home, and cute corgi dog soon understands bath, dinner. Hilariously, you don't need to call her when it's dinner, say the word ball, or ask if she wants her bone to make this dog go nuts. Eowyn the corgi has leapt beyond the world of words and sounds, following her deaf owner, and barks for joy on seeing sign language hand signs. Dog owner Emily Cassese, 32, was born deaf or near deafness, but completely lost her hearing as she grew up. When she moved in with her husband, Derek, 4 years ago, she introduced a new form of communication into his life. They now navigate their marriage through the silent language of signs. Derek, 34, an Orlando-based engineer for a packaging company, owned the fluffy, 9-year-old corgi Eowyn, with her short legs and huge ears, ever since she was a puppy, and spent plenty of time training her. He says his corgi is very intelligent and stubborn. After the couple got together, Eowyn became part of both their lives. They began to notice how intelligent she was when she started joining their silent discourses in her own canine ways. The prospects of going out for a walk or for a drive began to spark joy in Eowyn, though no words were uttered. The simple hand sign D for dinner beside the mouth had the dog scrambling. Eowyn was staring at me at the time, and just jumped off the couch and started barking, Derek told the newspaper. And I turned to Emily, and I went, I think the dog learned signs just from watching us. They say they never intentionally taught Eowyn sign language. She just started associating signs with what followed next and picked them up naturally. Though the couple say they were shocked by it. When we're communicating at home, it's just sign language. There's no speaking, Derek said, adding that Eowyn found inaudible ways to join his wife's soundless world. Rather than bark to get breakfast in the morning, the corgi went over to Emily's bed and gently bumped it until she awoke to feed her. Although many signs spark joy in the corgi, Eowyn is less impressed with others. Some turn her off completely, Derek said. She does not like the sign for bath, he said, laughing, making a gesture of scrubbing his shoulders with both hands. And for some reason, she does not like the sign for failure. We don't know why she doesn't like that one, but she just does not like that sign. The couple, who started their own YouTube channel, where they post deaf-related content, captured videos of Eowyn's sign language journey and posted them online, expecting a few thousand views. They were blown away when over 80 million tuned in to be amazed by her. When asked why it attracted so much attention, Derek said, I think that it's inspiring a lot of people. They're not only being inspired to learn sign language, but they're seeing that our life is not that different from theirs. Investigation inside China's dog meat slaughterhouses. Animal Equality uncovers, for the first time, dogs being brutally clubbed to death inside China's dog slaughterhouses. In 2012, Animal Equality began documenting China's dog meat trade. Our investigators visited a dog farm, slaughterhouses, and the markets and restaurants where their meat is sold. In the cities of Zhongmen and Zhongzhong, investigators filmed slaughterers beating dogs with wooden clubs and stabbing them to death. This took place in full view of other dogs. Family dogs killed from meat in China. Many dogs at the slaughterhouses and meat restaurants visited by Animal Equality's investigator were likely taken from family homes. Several still had collars around their necks. According to a survey carried out in May 2011 by Guo, a non-profit organization based in China. More than 80% of households in Jinan, Shandong, have reportedly had dogs stolen. According to Guo, these animals are likely to have ended up in slaughterhouses. Other dogs are raised on farms in Puxian and other northern provinces. They can spend up to 4 months in cages or pens. Once the animals reach the desired slaughter weight, most are transported long distances to slaughterhouses in Guangzhou, Guangdong, and Zhangjiang. More than 10 million dogs are killed in China's meat trade each year, approximately 30,000 every single day. The only area of China where the consumption of dog meat is prohibited is Hong Kong. Although there are currently no nationwide animal protection laws in China, there is a growing concern for animals in the country. It has become increasingly common for Chinese citizens, particularly those in sprawling cities, to live with dogs or cats. After protests by Chinese animal protection groups erupted across the country, China officially reclassified dogs as companion animals instead of livestock. Since then, 2 Chinese cities have banned dog meat consumption. How Animal Equality Fights for Dogs and Cats. Animal Equality launched a campaign to end the abuse and slaughter of dogs and cats. Nearly 800,000 people have signed the petition. Animal Equality has conducted investigations into China's dog meat trade since May 2012. In October 2013, one investigation contributed to the closure of a dog slaughterhouse and dozens of dog and cat meat vendors. Animal Equality rescued a female dog from a slaughterhouse in China. The dog, named Vita, was later placed in a family home in Spain. Although unknown at the time of rescue, Vita was pregnant and gave birth to 9 puppies shortly after her arrival. All of them, with the exception of one, who died shortly after birth due to a health condition, were adopted into loving families. During 2022's Yulin Dog Meat Festival, which takes place every June in China, Animal Equality discussed the dog meat trade before the Italian Senate. Alice Trombetta, then Executive Director of Animal Equality in Italy, detailed the investigative findings.